I've noticed it a lot in the horror genre. Speaking with, listening to some of the other speakers, everyone's so close and tight knit. That something that's kind of throughout the film industry, not knowing much about the film industry.
No, I do think it is a little unique to horror.
It's because of this.
It's because of these conventions mostly.
Yeah, because we get to socialize and hang out with each other and real people, and not just at work. And these are frequent, and these are the same people all the time.
And we're kind of celebrating these characters with you guys together. So, how it bonds, besides the fact that we just have very similar humor and very similar taste in things, and we just enjoy each other a lot. But also, we're sharing these experiences in a very similar way with you guys. So, that's kept us very, very close.
You don't get to keep people from jobs very often, though. When people ask what my favorite jobs are, I say 90210 and Chucky, because I got family with them. I got Jason Priestley and his wife and kids are my closest family, really, and so it doesn't happen a lot.
Yep.
Yeah.
You guys have a movie that you were scared of growing up?
The Exorcist. It's the scariest movie ever made.
Oh, yeah.
Honestly, because I starred in a horror film at 6 years old, it wasn't easy for films to scare me.
Have you seen The Exorcist?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was kind of bored. But anyway, never mind that. Never mind that. Return to Oz scared me when I was a kid. That movie is not for children.
Anybody? Yep.
What was that?
Cult. Cult of Chucky's my favorite.
That was your favorite? Yeah, he has to film, but that is your favorite one of the series franchises. You've always said that. Yeah. I would say part 1, part 2, Curse, Cult,
Show.
the TV series. They're all fun.
What do you think? What do you think is the creepiest real toy? Since Chucky is, a fake, creepy doll. What do you think is the creepiest real toy?
I don't have any kids, so and I don't have a kid. I don't have any exposure to toys really.
I don't really.
I think it's weird the easy bake ovens and stuff. That these should make toys that kill you. They really kill you. That's scary.
I think Teddy Ruxpin was up to something.
Yes.
Forgot about him.
Yeah.
So as far as Chucky goes, with the horror franchise, who would it be? If Chucky were to cross with another horror character, who would that horror character be?
It's Freddy.
It's Freddy. Yeah, we both agree that it would be Freddy.
Don's even told us what he would do if he did a Chucky and Freddy movie. I can't tell you, it's Don's story to tell. But they're a good match. People always want to match him with short villains, Leprechaun.
Yeah.
And
Annabelle.
Yeah, and so Freddy makes more sense though because he's funny, and
Yeah, Leprechaun is popular, but would that really be fun? I don't know. I think it's.
Well, they're both short.
Yeah, that's all though.
So am I.
For special effects, specifically for those special effects in animatronic, or a favorite episode. Like a special.
Oh, a special episode of the show with another horror villain?
Or like a crossover.
For a crossover.
Yeah. If Robert were willing to do Freddy, I don't think we'd pass up on that opportunity. I wouldn't hold your breath for that.
I think it's more complicated than you might think too, because the properties belong to different people, different companies.
Yeah, it would most likely have to be a universal monster for that to happen.
They get the good ones though. They get all the
ones,
OG monsters are universal monsters. So.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yes.
so if you were to do the Freddy Chucky crossover, who would play Freddy? Because Robert Englund.
Yeah, that's why it's not going to happen.
It's like only Brad can do Chucky, and only Robert Englund can be Freddy.
Yeah.
Unless Brad was willing to be Freddy, then that might be fun.
Make Fiona do it.
He'd actually do,
She does-
yeah, Fiona would do it good too.
Anybody else? Yep.
You know what Chucky's based off?
Oh, well, he's not based off Robert the Doll. That's not true.
What is he based off?
The Buddy doll?
Yeah, he's not really based off that either, honestly. My Buddy did come out around that time, so I think maybe in the designing of it, that might have been influence. But Don's original idea, he was inspired. It was really about like the marketing to children of dolls, and it was supposed to be, it was kind of a different concept. But Cabbage Patch Kids were really like what was in his mind when he came up with the idea. Yeah.
Do you think the series will ever have an actual finale, or you think it should at any point?
Why do you people want things to end? It's crazy. Make the final movie. Kill
Yeah.
Chucky. I don't want that to ever happen.
Yeah, I don't.
They keep killing Chucky and he keeps coming back.
That's right.
Exactly. He always comes back.
And a very good friend. So I hope not is the answer.
But I mean, I think if what you are asking is if the series wraps up, will it wrap up with something that feels fairly conclusive? Probably, but I don't think that means it would be the end. I think it's just, I'm sure the writing is so fantastic on that show that I'm sure whenever it does end, there will be a nice bow wrapped around it. But I don't think, I don't think it'll be all that final.
That's a tricky business too with television, because sometimes you don't know you've just shot your last season.
Yeah.
You think you're coming back and you don't, so you haven't tied things up. And I think if that were to happen, Don would go back to making movies. But
Yeah.
as long as people want to watch it, Don's gonna make it. I'm telling you, and I'm grateful for that.
Yeah.
And I'm grateful you guys watch it, because the show wouldn't be on the air if you guys didn't watch it. So thank you.
Absolutely.
Anybody? Yeah?
Yes?
So, I hear a lot of actors that kind of get tired of being known for a particular role, especially something that's kind of classic and iconic. But it doesn't sound like you guys get tired of it. Is there ever a point where you just get tired of being, oh, there's Andy Barclay, oh, there's Andy Barclay after so many years, I'm just curious about that.
Well, so like after, when I was 12, I kind of quit acting. In high school, I didn't want to talk about it. There was a long period of time where I didn't like the idea anymore. Then I started doing conventions. I saw how kind and appreciative and impactful it was for everyone. And yeah, I realized, I'm going to be identified as that character no matter what I do. Even if I went on and continued acting, that would still be how the majority of people know me or see me. So I do and just embrace it. I mean, I've had a lot of fun with it. The fact that I'm still playing the character certainly helps. When I was doing conventions and this was just a thing in my long distant past, it was a little more difficult to just wrap my arms around it and be nothing but thankful. That being said, there are times where I'm just not in the mood to be Andy for someone. But it's all part of it. It's a blessing.
Seems like as you've gotten older, then you just kind of embraced it. This is how it is.
Yeah, well, I waited tables for 17 years, so if you guys want to,
maybe being Andy's not.
Yeah, it's not so bad, exactly.
It's a rare thing for an actor to get lucky enough to have a role that is iconic or is memorable like that. So if you're an actor that has one of those or more of those, more than one of those on your resume and you're not grateful, you're an asshole.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, definitely. Yes.
Are you guys up to being in indie horror films?
Well, we're both in Screen Actors Guild, so a lot of indie horror films are not. But that being said, as long as there's nothing like that and the script is good, then possibly.
I'm doing one next week. I've got a day on an indie horror film, which also stars a puppet. It's Armadillo. It's Armadillo. But yeah. Mostly for friends though, because it's a lot of work and you don't get paid. And often indie films, the people that are making the film aren't very experienced, and that can be a frustrating world to be in when people are sort of learning on the job and you already know your job and their job and everyone else's job, and it's tough to be patient in those situations sometimes.
Yeah, I mean, to that point, you know, sometimes when something is made cheap, you know, it can be really good, but sometimes when it's made cheap, it can only be as good as the money can take it, which means even if you did a great performance in it, it still might not come out all that great, and difficult to you know, a lot of actors don't even like seeing themselves to begin with, but in indie films sometimes that could be even more difficult. It's just because they don't have the means to spend enough time to get it right, because time is very much money.
I have a lot of indie films on my resume though, and films made for $40,000 and stuff. So and they're great. It's a whole Route 30 trilogy that's great.
Sure, they definitely can be great too, but.
Anybody? Over here?
Obviously they can't make it because of like property restrictions, but if they were to make a movie to where, like example, like with the Suicide Squad and like the Guardians of the Galaxy, where they would just team up horror characters together, who would you guys choose to team up, and who would they fight?
You watch a lot of Marvel movies. I really don't have an answer for that. I don't know, like the Expendables of horror, is that what you're saying? Yeah, I don't know. It'd have to be a really good script regardless. You know? We all know who the top horror legend villain characters are. So yeah, I mean, if you're saying like if there was a film with like Chucky and Jason and Freddy and Michael Myers and
Ghostface.
Leatherface and Ghostface and Pennywise and it pays like a Marvel film, yeah, sign me up.
It would be exactly like that. So they'd have you'd have the budget of that.
Start working on the script.
Okay.
All right, this is going to be our last question.
This is not really a question, but this is just to say thank you to keep the franchise alive, and that you scared with Chucky, and you guys have put it to where it scared thousands of people, and it's going to continue on for the remainder of as long as this world is living. And we just all thank you for that.
Oh, thank you, man. What a great note to end this on. I appreciate that a lot. Stay tuned for season 3.
And check out Chucky Talks too if you
Yes, and
it's visual on YouTube. It's audio though on Spotify and iTunes or whatever.
Yep. And if you didn't get to ask a question or didn't want to in here, we will be at our tables the rest of the day. So we'll see you then.
Thanks
too.
again, guys. Sorry I
Thank
swore
you.
so much.
Thanks, guys.